The silence of Elrian. Elrian was a man of few words. In a world where people shouted to be seen, Elrian preferred silence. He lived a quiet life, worked an ordinary job fixing mechanical tools, and kept to himself. People saw him every day, but no one really knew him. He had no flashy clothes, no social media, and no loud opinions. To most people, Elrian was just a shadow in the crowd, someone forgettable. But deep inside him lived a powerful dream. Elrian wanted to become something no one believed he could be, a master of survival and endurance, someone who could conquer Mount Orion, the most dangerous and mysterious mountain range known to man. He didn't speak of this dream, not even once. While others spent their evenings in loud cafes and useless gossip, Elrian spent his nights training his body, strengthening his lungs, and studying old survival journals. He would walk in freezing rain, climb steep rocks, sleep under trees, and run barefoot in the early dawn, all without telling a single soul. You always disappear after work. Someone once asked. Just clearing my mind, he replied. They laughed and moved on. No one knew he was preparing for the impossible. The climb begins. One foggy morning, Elrian packed a small bag, filled it with dried fruits, a rope, a knife, and a tiny notebook. He left without saying goodbye. No post, no letter, no attention. The mountain stood before him, wild, cruel, and cold. Every step tested him. The air became thinner, the rocks sharper, the winds screamed louder. But Elrian did not stop. He climbed through snowstorms, crossed ice lakes, hung from cliffs. He didn't take photos. He didn't text updates. He simply kept climbing. No one was watching, but he didn't care. At last, after days of silence, pain, and struggle, he reached the peak of Mount Orion. He stood at the top, alone, the sky wide and endless above him. He didn't scream. He didn't cheer. He just closed his eyes, breathed in the cold air, and smiled. Not for fame, not for the world, just for himself. He opened his notebook and wrote, I did it, and no one needed to know. The aftermath. Weeks later, Elrian returned home. He looked a little thinner, a little tired, but calm as always. No one knew where he had been. Until one day, a world explorer posted a video online, a shot of the summit of Mount Orion with the world went into a search frenzy. Explorers, scientists, and media tried to find out who had reached the peak alone. Finally, through travel logs and clues, they reached Elrian. He didn't deny it, but he didn't brag either. Why didn't you tell the world? Reporter asked. Elrian's reply was simple. If you tell people too soon, they will feed your doubt. If you wait until you succeed, you no longer need to explain anything. The legacy. Elrian became famous, not because he shouted, but because he climbed silently. He returned to his life of peace, still fixing tools, still wearing simple clothes, still walking quietly through the streets. But now, when people saw him, they whispered, That's the man who climbed Orion and never told a soul. Moral of the story. Silence is power. Don't share your plans. Don't seek attention. Grow in private. Let your success be the only voice you need. So, audience, I have some questions for you. Have you ever worked silently on something big without telling anyone what happened in the end? Tell me in comment. Number 2, do you believe it's better to speak about your dreams or keep them private until you succeed? Why? Number three, what would you do if nobody believed in your goal? Would you still go after it quietly, like Elrian? Number four, have people ever laughed at your dreams? How did you deal with it? Number five, do you think the world today focuses more on showing off than doing real hard work? Number six, which part of Elrian's story touched you the most and why? Number seven, what's your Mount Orion? What's that one big thing you are working on silently? Number eight, do you think silence is power in today's loud world?